Anyone need a refresher?
Don't think so. I was sleeping. They were still discussing what they want to do about the Banshee. And if memory serves me right.
Probably about the curse more than the Banshee.
Well, the curse. Yes, okay, the curse. And we were still deciding whether we're going to soldier on or whether we're going to head back to. I almost said Ravenmore, or we're going to head back to.
Standpoint?
Yeah. Sorry. Kitty's in front of my screen, so I can't see. There we go.
So has the group made a decision yet?
I'll leave it up to the rest of the group. I'm sleeping away, so I'll leave it up to the rest of the group to decide.
If I remember correctly, last session at the very end, Alpha was busy reading
The notes.
Yes,
the
correct.
notes to see if there might not be a way to find an
Correct.
answer.
Okay. Are you reading them in the order that they were in the box, or just randomly reading them?
No, in the order they are at the box, in the box.
Okay. So you take your time now and you read specifically what the note says, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it says that the person who wrote this name is Reginald. Right. He was part of a mercenary company, and in the first page, it's basically him just saying how remorseful he is for the contract they took for the Rune Lords.
Rune,
So-
R-U-N-E.
Yes.
Okay.
Kitty.
If you go on to the second page, it says that Lucille, one of the scouts, went missing. There's only 4 people left in the group, and they were originally 25.
Wow.
Now,
Our kind of luck.
Lucille went missing the previous night, and the night before that, she spoke to Reginald about hearing voices. Children were speaking to her at night.
Okay. As Alpha's reading this, he'll tell the whole party as well. Or probably just read it out loud, I guess. That's easier.
So the next couple of pages are basically the same thing, speaking about people going missing. And then about halfway through, is that Rune Lords changes to Ruin Lords, as in ruin
RUIN.
something that's
Yeah,
been
ruining their
destroyed.
life. Yes.
Yes.
Kitty. Come on, please.
So when it switches over to Ruin Lords, right, it speaks of a elf that left the group to start her own adventuring company. Oh, not company, but group. So she moved away from the mercenary jobs and rather started her own adventuring group. And then... Sorry, just checking through the notes here quickly.
Don't drive me up the wall.
So the third last one, right? As you read it, you notice that it says that they picked up more crates for the menagerie at a Elven village that was recently destroyed. And even though they heard crying and calls for help from the boxes, they were all told if they look inside the boxes, their lives are forfeit. So no one in the group actually checked what's inside the boxes, as far as Reginald knows. And then the first 2 notes are basically just saying how he started off with this group.
What's
So at this
mysterious
point, you
noise
can
you
probably
could hear?
see that the notes are... The oldest one was right at the back. The newest one was right in front. I'm going to say you can kind of figure that out.
No roll needed.
No.
Cool.
And they heard crying and calls for help out of these boxes, and nobody looked inside.
Yes.
That's never a good sign. Never.
It also says when they say that they got the boxes, it's the standard procedure, seems like, because the rest of the group are just like, yeah, it's what it kind of is. Reginald was new. This is his first assignment with them. They've never really had much in the likes of resistance against them. Every city they go to, they find these boxes, and the rest of the city or town or village has been destroyed.
And
So
it's
they're
sort of
just
a menagerie.
basically yes,
Come
they're
on,
just
Steve.
delivering the boxes back to Sandpoint to be collected by the Ruin or Rune Lords. That is the information you get from these notes, Alpha.
Are the notes dated at all?
The original ones not. The newer ones are.
Okay.
So the newer ones are almost daily, where probably before that you can kind of see the handwriting changes and stuff, so it might be weeks or months in between them.
There's no like date like it was last week or a year ago or anything.
No, the page, the first one you read was 200 years ago.
200 years ago.
Yes.
Hey, some of the characters are around then. Just saying.
So those ones,
think-
they're basically like, that one's not 200 years ago to the dates, but a couple of months and weeks and stuff, and then those run daily. So about the first half are all about 200 years ago. Before that, there's no dates. So the newest one is roughly 200 years old.
Is anybody else getting a little bit of like a crawly sort of uncomfortableness down the back of their neck and down into their spine with it being called a menagerie, and we were in the menagerie that was really, really horrible. So
Rude. That took a lot of time, you know.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
still
yeah,
horrible,
else.
still horrifying. So obviously
My apologies.
creatures. So Shem, are you okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. Just had a sip of water and went down the wrong air pipe. Went down the air pipe instead of being swallowed.
Obviously someone or something was taken without their consent, like kidnapped or abducted by this group. So maybe that's something to sort of consider.
Hey.
When you saw the ghosts, they were children too, right?
Most of them were children.
Most
That
of the
Alpha could
ghosts.
see. Yes.
Most of the ghosts that Alpha could see were children.
Yes, so you can't say all of them because some of them he couldn't see. But everyone that he saw was a child.
I'm getting some really wiggly nigglies over here.
If I have to put one and one together, the children that Alpha saw are probably the children from the notes.
Let's see.
And I don't think if they ghosties, if they spooks, they're definitely not alive anymore.
Yeah. Alpha, in his very sickly state,
Maybe.
will get off the horse.
Yes, get off the horse.
He put the pieces of paper on the ground before him and kneel. And then loudly he'll say he'll kneel down, thrust his sword,
Yeah.
try and thrust his sword through the pieces of papers as he wants to kneel.
Wow.
Okay. Through all of them.
Yes, through all of them.
Okay.
And
Your sword breaks.
does he succeed in
Yeah, so it goes through them. It's paper.
and then he'll say not softly, but also not shouting, but loudly. He'll say, "You cry out for repentance," and then take a deep breath. "And rightly so. But you speak to the wrong soul. I was not there 200 years ago, but I will bear witness now. Tell me your names. Tell me what was done to you, and I will see that your truth is known, and your killers, if alive, judged.
I like it.
Okay. So with everyone hearing Rune Lords, you can, if you have knowledge history or law history, otherwise just a straight up society roll.
Give me a second, let me check.
Very nice speech, by the way.
Thank you.
Sorry, you said a straight up society roll, so that's a d20
If you don't
plus
have
your
a history
society.
roll.
If you don't have history law,
I'm going to kick your ass.
then it's society, yes.
Where do I see if I've got history law? Apologies.
It'll be
It should
under
be
your
under
skills.
Yeah. At the bottom, it should be history law if you have it.
I got Underworld Lord.
No.
No.
Okay, then I'll do society.
When you were in Underworld. Oh wow, damn, if only I was awake. My society's so high. Sorry guys. My society's
roll-
super high.
Ugh, 13. Not exactly
That's not
high.
bad. Not bad. For rolling a 5 and getting a 13, that's not bad at all.
Here we go. I need your sister's luck here. Please. Natural 20s.
Oof.
Oof.
Never
Alpha?
mind. That didn't help.
I don't know if you did. Alpha did roll a 17. I don't know if it did
Getting
show.
17. Sorry, I did
No,
not
it
see
didn't.
that. My apologies.
Ha!
Well,
That
between
for Akari.
yes, between Akari and Alpha, you can kind of recall that the Ruin Lords, or the Rune Lords, as they are correctly referenced later on in the notes, were a group of magic users that tried to reshape most of this continent in their own image, but they no longer are a threat. There's whispers of Rune Lords still being alive, but nobody has seen them in hundreds of years.
I'm even referred to as centuries.
So that's the information that you get from that role. So do you want to change anything about your speech or just keep it the same?
Alpha hasn't heard anything back, has he, from the kids or anything in this short time?
No.
Nothing's happened. Okay. Alpha will also say, when he recalls that knowledge, in the name of the light that was stolen from you, their sins are not mine, but their judgment has already come. For the Rune Lords have already perished. Rest now, let go, and I will carry your vengeance forward.
Okay, cool. So for everyone watching, Gregor, who's asleep, you can't see this, but for everyone else, you see that the pages, except for the latest one, so the one about repentance and being remorseful about it, they seem to kind of become dust and fade away. But that one page stays.
That's the top one, right?
Yes.
Newest one.
Nicely
newest one,
done,
correct?
Alpha. Nicely done. The Banshee hasn't sort of popped her head up again or any ghosties reappear or anything like that yet.
No. So the rest of the watch, if everybody is still game to go back to watch and to sleep and all of that, do you guys want to continue with that, or do you want to actually move out now?
Did we decide to move out now or to go to sleep and leave in the morning? Sorry, I can't recall
Even the
from.
morning was the last time I remember.
Yeah, I also think we were gonna just stay in camp and then we had the whole ghostly banshee
It is
encounter.
kind of, we've already had one shift, so it is pretty late at night.
Oh, early morning.
Yeah.
Or early morning, yeah. Early morning, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we could leave now. I mean, if obviously we don't know if the curse has been lifted. If I'm
Yep.
assuming correctly.
I think
Correct.
you're assuming
So,
correctly according to me as well.
so I would think that even though we've slept a little bit, you know, now that it's early morning, we should probably rush to try and get Alpha, you know, to safety because we obviously don't know how else to save him or how long it's before something bad happens again.
And we all took, well, a lot of us took damage off the banshee. And if I remember correctly, the banshee attacks will happen continuously until we figure this out. Or
You don't know if they'll happen continuously.
Oh, we don't
What?
know. Okay, okay. So yes, I also vote for let's go. Let's go.
A light just went on. What's the last? Was there only one piece of paper that didn't
Yeah.
disappear?
Yes.
And that was about being resentful.
Yes. So the
Um,
first page you read.
Yes. Alpha will, seeing that one piece of paper didn't disappear, he'll take his sword out from the ground and whatever and pick up the piece of paper and then say, I bring to you the repentance of those who have wronged you. What was the note about again?
Reginald being remorseful
Remorseful.
about what they did.
Okay. And then he'll say, on this note, I give you the gentleman, Reginald, remorseful, sorrowful for what has happened to you. Let's see if that works.
So for everybody still watching, you see a single figure walk closer to Alpha. It's a young elven boy. And then Alpha would hear it speaking, the rest of you would just see it speaking, but the elven boy tells you the one who needs to know isn't here. And then fades away.
Okay.
Good, I love that. Maybe you can make some cue cards for your speech so that when they do come back, you can
Next
say it
time.
again.
Uh,
Anybody got a voice recorder?
Does any of the magic users have the ability to find who this should be aimed at? Can we somehow divine who for whom this message is?
I could possibly. I know that. Let me double check this before I give you the wrong information. Hold on. I know that considering I am a seer of the dead elf, I can use spirit sense. So that means you open your mind, whatever. Even if you aren't searching, you get a check to find haunts and spirits in the area. You get a +1 status bonus to the following checks regarding haunts or spirits. Perception checks to seek, attempts to recall knowledge, skill checks to determine the reason for their existence, and skill checks to disable a haunt. So I figured if I use that to determine the reason for their existence, that could maybe narrow down who the spirit is.
Yeah,
like
or who is the one that should be hearing this apology
Yeah.
letter, this remorse letter?
Yeah, exactly. The only
Yeah.
reason, though, that I'm not sure about is last time when the ghosts appeared first, I couldn't see them for whatever reason. So even though I should have been able to, I couldn't. So I don't know if there's a reason for that I can't see them.
Is it not
I can see
part
the
of
Banshee.
Is it part of the curse on Alpha, maybe? That he's the
Yeah,
only
that's what
one
I'm
who can see
thinking.
them. But can Oryn see if she can sort of use her skill?
She can try, yes. The reason why she couldn't see the ghosts before is because they are linked to a curse, not just trapped spirits. They're not just restless ghosts.
Do you
So
really want to take the page from Alpha? Is that gonna set off a whole lot of bad things happening, or do you want to just see if you can detect anything using your magic first?
I'm not sure that detect magic would help, but I can, I could possibly take the cursed papers. Alpha, we can be besties, friends who get cursed together and all that. But I don't know that I have the best chance of survival if I'm also on death's doorstep.
No, but before you touch it, the whatever skill you have to sort of find out about cursed objects or whatever, or undead. No, not undead. That thingy that you just read. Can you try using
Yeah.
that on the letter without touching it first?
I can try. I don't know that I'd need to roll for that, as it's like a yeah.
So you examine the piece of paper as closely as you can without touching it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So as you're busy examining it, right, you see that the page seems to mend where Alpha's sword was through it. So the page is healing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then looking at the page further, right, you can discern that it is actually about 200 years old. It is in the condition it is because of the curse that's attached to it. And you also sense not only Reginald's resentment on the piece of paper, like how sorrowful he felt, but probably all of the people in the mercenary company in that one page. And then you feel a innate sense of anger, hatred tied to it as well.
Okay.
Right. I'll just relay that information to the rest of the group.
Alpha is gonna try and stand up and then point his sword forward, and then for the last try, he'll say, "If you must mark me, then mark me as your sword.
Excuse me.
Who do I need to show the remorse to? Who needs to read this paper?"
Response. No response at all.
That
Apart
helps.
from the rest of the party looking at you. And Gregor snoring.
I don't snore. Rude.
So, either we need to
He
look.
just screams in his sleep.
What names were on the paper? Reginald, Lucille. What was it?
Reginald and Lucille. And then the other, it says an elf that was part of their group created her own adventuring party. Doesn't actually specify her name though.
No name, no where they were, or anything like that.
Nope. But you
It
do know
wasn't
the
me.
elf that you got the key from was dead in the area where you encountered the sin spawn. That was an elf, and she had the key for the lockbox.
Do you guys want to go back? Maybe that's the elf that needs to hear it.
Maybe. I mean, if that does work, I could maybe. Obviously, if I can talk to the spirits,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
tell them what's happening.
Just off that, they said there's only 4 people remaining in the party. Are those the 4 that are dead there? Or would that, I know it's 200 years later, but
Excuse me.
we're dealing with magic users. Do you think those are the last 4 of the party, the people who actually caught and killed? Well, handed over the boxes to the rune or ruin lords, or would they be the ones that need to hear this? I'm just putting it out there because there were 4 bodies, and the letter said there are only 4 left in the party, or
In the
were
mercenary group.
in the mercenary group who were transporting the boxes.
But it also mentions the elf that went away to create her adventuring group, and there was an elf with a key there. So
Mm.
she would not be part of those 4.
That elf might
If
still
that
be
was the
alive.
elf.
Okay, cool. Then,
Just saying.
yeah. Do we want to go back and go and have a look-see? Yeah, it's not that we're not that far away. We just moved on to drier ground. That's definitely closer than town.
I mean, we can give it a try. If that doesn't work, then our next lead is probably the elf that made their own adventuring company.
Party. Yeah, makes
So
sense.
maybe we have to go to a town then anyway, I guess.
And the old father at the bathhouse, he was older than Oryn, so maybe that we can ask him. Maybe he can give us
Excuse me.
some information there too.
Good idea. I'm happy with it.
So going
Cool.
back to the soggy river where you fought the sin spawn.
Yes.
Everybody happy with that?
Well, I mean, are
Not
we
really.
happy with it? Probably not, but
Logic,
So you know,
logic,
if you move back towards that way, you're moving away from the town and the road.
yeah, true, but that's closer still than getting onto the well, closer still than going all the way back to town.
That is correct. I'm just saying, if you go there and it's not what you need, you're going further away from town.
Well, let's give it a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? It takes us a little bit longer. How's Alpha doing? Alpha, what's your life on?
That's a good question.
Well, I changed everyone back to full health after the rest.
Oh, okay, cool.
We can do a wheel
Not
pickup.
looking very well though, I would assume.
my only concern, and Alpha, please feel free to give your input on this. We know, I think, I don't know if I'm using meta knowledge now, but we know that getting blessed by the priest will help him. Like,
Yes.
kind of definitely. We don't know that going back to the swamp to put, to get like the key or whatever is actually going to help. A big risk with Alpha's life, because the thing is if I'm not mistaken, his health is fine now, but if we get into combat,
He's gonna
that's
be in
when the
trouble.
problems will, so we have a better chance of going to the place that we know for sure is going to help him, and then we can still go back to help the Banshee or help the kids or whatever later once Alpha's been cured, but if that is what you guys want to do. But
Yeah.
so it's just something to take into consideration.
I like that.
And we
Because if Alpha dies, we're screwed.
Yeah, and
You'll be fine.
No, whoa. As long as horse stays behind, we're okay.
That's true, but I don't know that the horse will stay behind if Alpha's gone.
We don't know if the Strider is gonna stick around if Alpha sort of
Just putting it out
goes
there.
to the what plane does the Strider live on naturally? Where he said, "I'll see you soon."
The abyss.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think
Just
he'll remain
saying.
behind if Alpha goes to the abyss.
Um,
Not to put too fine a point on it. Yes, and we wanted to return to come and sort of scrutinize the other 3 areas we hadn't yet on the map anyway, if I'm not mistaken.
Believe so.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming back anyway. So maybe it would just be a better idea to make sure that Alpha is
Sorted.
okay
True.
with
True,
something
true.
we know will help, rather
Okay.
than taking a
Okay.
guess.
And
Well,
then
I think-
Alpha, if we encounter any hostiles anywhere, please stay out of the fight.
front of the line.
I was going to say, Alpha's probably going to be front of the line.
See, told you.
He's a paladin. It's in his blood.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to find some way to make Alpha go to sleep for a while if we encounter. We've got blue Venus with us, so Alpha
Apparently
must.
that's too dried up. I'd already tried that.
I've still got vials that are sealed with that
okay.
Yeah, and
Okay,
the
okay, okay.
antidote. Just saying. Not that I can. I should actually be giving it to Gregor, shouldn't I?
It's up to you. I'm not. He's more on kind of healing stuff than
Please
poisons.
don't. He drank a concoction that was supposed to keep him awake, and he fell asleep immediately. So maybe
It wasn't actually a
he-
concoction to keep him awake. I'm just saying.
maybe he confuses the
That
two.
was just that was just a full alpha.
We obviously need to rouse Gregor from his sleep if we want to leave here and head back to town, because I don't think we're gonna leave a member of our party in the swamp, are we?
And it goes silent. Well,
Not unless they're misbehaving.
Yeah, any other tricks up your sleeve there, Mr. Gregor?
nope.
Not at this very precise moment in time.
Not all good.
So the group is going back to town. Correct? Or am I misinterpreting the conversation?
Nope, I think that's what we decided. We kind of decided on that previously already when things started going really wrong and wrong and wrong here.
I think going back to town is the best option, but I'm happy to do whatever the party feels is best.
Maybe we'll bump into one of the priests or whoever that Alpha
Okay, I like that idea. Maybe they're out walking.
on the road. If we on the like main trade route, maybe we meet up with someone who can help Alpha before we get back to town. We just probably won't bump into them here in the swamp.
Okay.
So Akari is going to look at Oryn and say, are you going to wake Gregor?
Oryn will just nod and be like, yeah. And she's going to whisper to Akari. She's just going to like lean in and kind of under her breath say, oh, we could leave him here. And then she's going to laugh and then go wake him.
Just
Hmm.
out of interest, has Gore recovered any of his life, or do you need to do some magic on him before Gore recovers
Or is still
in your backpack?
non-functional.
Okay.
In my pocket.
Gore still looks like a dog's chew toy at this stage.
No, he does not. Patched him up and sewed him up and stuff. So not really, no. But no, he does not. He's
He's
still
not moving or anything.
unfunctioning.
Okay, so he looks like a patchworks, in other words.
Yeah. For now.
That's also
Wrapped
a
in-
horrible way to describe his dead body. A chewed up dog toy. Wow.
Wrapped in the
I mean,
leathers.
He
soaked in
was down, and then he got hit by a torrent of bones. So
The dogs will. Dogs chew bone. So yeah. Now, he is covered in, sewed up, covered with pieces of the other people sewn into the bigger holes, covered in the potion that I put on him, and then wrapped up in the leather bag in a pocket in my trench coat.
Good.
Is that gore in your
Right.
pocket, or are you happy to see me?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Oryn wakes Gregor.
Okay, let us go. People, you never leave me. Do you understand how it works? I don't think you understand how. I was just on. You've all slept while I was on watch. I have just got back from watch. I don't think you understand. Whatever. And you'll kind of help you guys pack up camp.
Kari is going to whisper to Oryn, maybe it was a good idea.
Someone's not a morning person.
So you guys set off back on the road towards town, correct?
Mm.
Yep.
Yep. We all tread
Anyone?
cautiously.
You're trying to roll
Good.
highs. You're trying to roll low. That's the problem.
So the route back is quite a bit simpler than it was walking through the swamp. You reach the edge of the swamp and you meet the same fisherman that met you last time.
Let's ask the fisherman if he knows the elf. Or, I don't know, the people.
How
that-
long does this take? Just FYI.
So by the time you reach the end here, it's kind of time to go back to sleep again.
Okay. So
And the
today.
fishermen are coming back with a bunch of supplies, so it looks like they're going to go fishing for a while. It's the mute human and the dwarf fisherman that you met earlier.
Should we not warn them and be like, listen, maybe you should avoid certain areas while fishing?
They were
They
kind of
kind of
warning us.
warned you guys, yeah.
They were kind of warning us.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll say, you need not fear. We have got the soggy river monsters for you. You can pay us when we get to town. So please, fish in peace.
The dwarf chuckles a bit and says, well, I'm not offering a reward for the soggy river monster, but quite sure the town will be happy. Alpha, did you want to ask them something?
Yes, I was going to ask the dwarf whether or not he knows anything about a mercenary company working for ruined lords, or an elf that was part of it that made her own adventuring company or anything like that. So basically a dumbed down version of the notes, pretty much. Asking if
So
anyone
as
might be
you-
alive or anything.
As you say, Rune Lord's a dwarf kind of stiffens up and he says, you shouldn't say that out loudly, especially not in town. They were a blight on Sandpoint. It's not a part of history that anyone wants to remember.
Alpha will say, I carry valuable information regarding the mercenary company that worked for them, as well as the children. So any help would be helpful.
The dwarf doesn't seem to know what you're talking about, and then, as you say, the mercenary company, he asked which one. Back in the
Gregor's
day,
kind
the
of whisper.
Rune Lords had entire armies working for them.
Gregor's gonna kind of whisper to Oryn, did I miss something?
Oryn does not reply.
I feel like I've missed something.
So yes, the dwarf tells you that the Rune Lords had entire armies, so like a mercenary company doesn't seem like a big deal. But he did give a warning not to say their name in town.
Alpha will say, I'm not sure which mercenary company. All I can tell you are the names of which was working. A Reginald, a Lucille, and an elf that split or parted ways from them.
Dwarf kind of scratches his head and says, "Oh, it's like 200 years ago or something. Been fishing more. It's not really his thing, but talk about the Rune Lords," and he kind of shivers a bit and he's like, "Yeah, this is not for me."
Alpha is gonna gesture almost like he's tipping a hat, although he's not wearing a hat. And then just say, safe travels.
I was muted again when I was talking. Oryn did reply to Gregor.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oryn did reply. I wasn't being rude. Oryn was just confused as well. Anyway, I think I need someone to monitor my mic from now on.
Cool, cool. If I don't hear anything when somebody asks you, I'll just inform you that we can't hear anything. Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks.
From that conversation, it seems that the Rune Lords has a history. So in town. So maybe going back to town is a good idea. We'll definitely be able to get more information there. Even though we were warned that it's not a topic of choice, there's obviously a history there.
Well, I think Alpha is more set at trying to help these kids because vengeance is kind of his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Alpha's a little bit more not worried, but he wants to do the right thing rather than actually just getting rid of the curse altogether.
Cool. I hear you.
So with that entire conversation, you kind of see the fishermen. They were kind of almost setting up camp here. They quickly pack up and go further into the swamp before you can assume they set up camp again. As you guys set up camp, yeah, kind of on the edge of the swamp. Because it is getting quite late. The time here at the edge of the swamp, you can quickly tell it's roughly about 10 o'clock at night already.
Wow, that's a long walk.
And we still have rations that we can use, right?
Yes,
We're about halfway through our
or
ration.
you can buy fish from the fishermen if you want to, or food from them.
Late now, but okay. We should be about halfway through our rations because your ration packs, depending on how we each had one as far as I know, that's a week's worth of food. So we're about halfway through them.
Okay, cool.
We
To
can
our ration packs.
set up camp.
Yeah, we obviously need to set up a watch again. I don't suppose that Gregor will volunteer to go first again. Maybe
Not at
I'll
all.
go first this
Gregor is
Oh.
tired.
I will take last watch.
Okay, I'll volunteer for first watch.
Okay. And then Akari and Oryn for second watching. Yeah.
Before we start with the watch, Alpha is just gonna be sure to train his horse with the run and the return and all
Okay,
that.
okay.
Okay, cool. No issues at all. Well done
And
on remembering that.
I will be tending to Gore as well before going to tending to Gourd and then making some more notes in the booklet before examine some of the plant life before heading off to bed.
Okay.
In the swamp, I mean.
So, Alpha and Lillith, do you have anything you guys would like to discuss while you're on watch?
Duke, come on.
I'll ask Alpha how he's doing, because obviously he's this is weighing quite heavily on him, like having a curse on you would. So I'll just ask him how he's doing, and how was Strider? How's he finding it having being responsible for another living being?
So, Alpha,
Yes.
The tree huggers.
you can immediately notice that you can see better at night, and you don't feel tired, even though you have been walking the entire day.
I was undead. He's a vampire.
It wasn't me.
Does my throat look appetizing? I just want to know. No. All joking aside.
Should I roll a D100?
Eh,
Alpha's gonna kneel down and then look to Lilith and say, let's find out. And then he's gonna try and pray. So if there's any type of like what he did the first time when his connection was severed.
Okay, cool.
Do I need to roll a d6?
No.
I really thought you were going to say you were going to try and bite her. I was
No.
like, hang on.
I'm racing over here like, do I need to cut my finger? Maybe not my hand. Be gentle, please.
So, as you start praying, right, you barely start praying, and you hear Arns already just saying, it's about time.
Good job. It was the swamp.
Do I know who answered me?
Nope. It's not one of the gods you know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alpha will say, I do not recognize your voice. To whom am I speaking?
I go by many names. One of my followers has introduced you to my preferred name as well.
What, wait, I need to open my notes.
Asmodeus, yeah.
Asmodeus, okay. Alpha is going to, in almost looking shocked, very quickly open his eyes and then under his breath say, Asmodeus?
Fly.
I'm still watching him. I didn't hear him say that, did I?
You probably did.
Yeah, you probably did.
Okay. Okay.
Did he respond?
Nope.
Okay. Alpha will look back at Lilith again and say, although we have traveled, my bones do not feel weary. And he's going to kind of lift his hands and try and look at his hands, almost in disbelief.
I'll ask Alpha if he thinks it's because of his new armor, or is it because of the weight he's carrying from the curse that's now being lifted, or what's his take? And is Asmodeus one of his deities?
Alpha will say, I don't know what is happening. And when I sought refuge or answers from my deity, one that is despised by my religion answered.
Would I know through like arcane and all of that who Asmodeus is? Would I have any of that knowledge?
Not really, I'd say.
Okay, so can I ask Alpha more about it? Because obviously, it kind of doesn't really make sense to me.
Just want to check something. My pantheon wages an eternal war with the dark prince they call Asmodeus.
So as a paladin, you're a person of the light, and now you've got somebody from the dark answering your prayer. Maybe that's something to look into.
That damn wretched horse. I knew it was too good to be true.
How is Strider? Strider is completely healed, right? After coming back from, or the Strider is completely healed after coming back from the Abyss.
Yep. The
Yep.
horse is completely healed.
He has some interesting talents, but I've learned that he too is a creature of the abyss. So, basically, a bad horse. Alpha shouldn't have him.
Bad horse.
A bad guy horse. Yeah.
Find it quite interesting that in this world it's an absolute good and bad. The Seelie and the Unseelie just depends on your point of view. Maybe looking at things from a different perspective is something that you've been called upon to do right now.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So not necessarily good or bad, but maybe just needed for this part of the journey. Just an idea.
With Lillith saying that, Alpha will kneel back down, close his eyes, and then try and do what he did when Asmodeus answered him. So also say, or kind of not say anything, but try a prayer to see if Asmodeus responds again.
So the answer is that's kind of rude, just cutting off like that.
So
So that's
he
my
does
ideas answering.
reply.
Yes.
Was Modius on the line?
Hey,
Mhm.
Why have I been cut off from my pantheon, and why did you answer?
Your pantheon believes in the service of the living. You are technically not part of that anymore.
What am I?
A champion of the divine light.
What has become of my mortal body?
It's still yours to control for now.
Keywords for
For now.
For now.
Uh,
Not ominous at all. No, no.
Yet you say I am no longer living mortal. What does that make me then?
Asmodeus thinks for a while and then he says, have you ever heard of Schrodinger's cat? No, I'm just joking.
Very nice. Very nice.
Asmodeus is
Ah.
going to say, have you ever witnessed a person being healed from a wound that should not be survivable?
Numerous times.
um,
This week or altogether?
I have seen many blessings and curses since I have become a paladin.
So he stays silent for a while, then he says, so all the wounds you've accumulated in the years are currently taking their toll on your soul, even though your body is in one piece.
Where does my soul reside currently?
That's a good question. I like that question.
Inside your armor.
So the armor
new
is cursed.
Not cursed, he answers.
Then my soul has signed away.
You did agree when you put on the armor, correct?
I see.
And okay.
Shit.
Should have read that fine print.
I was tricked.
In the words of the
Dream of
fishing
demon.
commander from Star Wars, it's a trap.
um, that does not explain what happened when the Banshee cursed me.
Your soul is already with the ferryman. At the moment, it just resides inside your mortal shell.
So I have yet chance to redeem my soul.
Yes. As long as your mortal shell can still contain it.
I think I understand now.
Anything else I could help with?
Um,
Very polite. Just saying.
did you send me the Strider?
Yes.
For what reason?
Another good question.
You aided one of my children and her summoner.
Ooh.
And the armor?
Not even the gods can tell why the child of Torag does what he does.
What happens if you take it off?
I don't think anything happens if Alpha takes off the armor. But if he puts on other pieces of armor, then no, that's a no.
Asmodeus did tell you that your soul resides in your human whatever within the armor. Is the armor helping you sort of hang on to your mortal soul there?
I would assume so, from my understanding.
Are you asking?
Yeah, sure.
Why not? Hell, why not?
Got him on the line, so might as well.
Asmodeus stays silent for a while and he says, well, not exactly. But your soul is the payment for the armor, so its final destination has been set.
Not all things that are shiny are gold, as the expression goes.
If Alpha can become impossible to hit, then, I mean, that's fair game.
Well, it's a valid point.
True. And you need to sort of stay alive for at least the foreseeable future.
Thank you for enlightening me.
Don't take so long to reach out again.
Alpha's gonna open his eyes.
I'm done.
So that's Alpha. Anything else you want to do?
Alpha's the only one who heard this conversation with Osmodius, right? I only heard. Did Alpha actually talk out loud when he was talking to Asmodeus? Did I hear any of that conversation? Even Alpha's part of it or not?
How would a prayer work?
That depends.
Yeah. if you're praying soft, sort of in your head, or if you're talking out loud.
How vocal is Alpha about praying?
I mean, if his eyes are closed, then probably not very vocal, unless he's chanting something or.
Cool.
Cool.
So I just observed Alpha's sort of different expressions. Do you still have your helmet on or not?
Yes, if
Do
we're
you
on watch,
keep on
yes.
Okay, so I can't see your expressions either. So I'll just watch Alpha's body language as you sort of tighten up every time something horrible was said to you. So when Alpha sort of straightens up and I assume he's no longer praying, I'll just say to him, I'm sure that that does not look as if it was all good news, just from the way you're holding yourself right now.
Wasn't necessarily all bad news either.
Some unforeseen answers, or some unforeseen questions have been answered.
Okay.
That's not necessarily try that again. Not necessarily a bad thing. How long to the DM? How long do we still have on watch?
So, as your watch draws to an end and it becomes midnight, you see Alpha's armor seems more gaunt and skeletal at this stage.
In the moonlight or like?
No, the entire armor set is changing.
Okay. I'll point that out to Alpha and say, ask him if he's still feeling okay, because his armor is changing and shifting.
How is Alpha
Alpha still
feeling?
feels the same.
Alpha will give a thumbs up.
Okay.
You've still got your helmet on, so I can't see if you're bleeding. So, hence my question if you're feeling okay.
Yeah, thumbs up. Not dead
Cool.
yet, at least. Kind of.
Happy
I don't know how I
days.
feel.
Right. So, you two go to wake up Akari and Oryn.
Right.
Alpha, as you walk back to go and wake them up, you see another horde of ghosts standing around the camp.
Of course you do.
Sorry. Before we move on, I just wanted to check something.
Yeah.
Because I've technically slept twice now, would I be allowed to readjust my spells or?
Yes,
Yes.
you.
All right, sorry, I'm just doing that then quick.
You do get to readjust your spells.
But can Alpha actually see
You guys
the-
can go ahead.
Alpha can see them, yes. And you can see clearly now it's every one of them is children. There's no adults between them.
Alpha will say, I have seen what they did. Help me set this right. Let this curse pass from me and fall instead upon the guilty. He's going to kind of rummage around to the note that he had, the resentful letter, and say, here I carry proof of their repentance. Give me time to show this to the person, or give me time to show this to the guilty.
The ghosts stay silent for a while, very intensively watching the piece of paper Alpha's holding. And then the same boy that came forward to tell you that the one who needs to hear it isn't there walks closer again and he says, you have got 3 days. Well, 2 nights after tonight.
Ringu!
Alpha will immediately ask, in order to right the wrongs, I need to know who to go to and where to find them.
The ghost of the boy looks at you and says, I'm the only one who still has family. Find them, and you might be set free.
What is your name and where do your family reside?
Well played, Alpha.
So the ghost tries to speak, but you can't hear what it says. So you can see its mouth moving, but you can't hear what it says. And then you hear all of them answer Sandpoint.
You have a clue, people.
Heading in the right direction.
Yep. All
Alpha,
roads lead to Sandpoint.
Alpha wants to take a very detailed mental note of this kid, what they look like, the race, everything.
He's an elf, right? I think you said.
Yeah, he's a young elven boy. You can't really make out what color his hair is. He just seems like a ghost at this stage.
At least Alpha's bought a little bit of time.
Right.
And the person that would look familiar to this one, I don't think Alpha was there.
It's the elf at the bathhouse.
That's the only elf we came across while we were in Sandpoint, who's like Father
Old
Time.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
First Alpha to know about elves.
Do you
All
share
right.
any
Well,
of this
to
with
the
us?
baths then.
Do you,
Hey ho, it's off to the bathhouse we go.
would Alpha
Mhm.
share any of this with us? Because we obviously can't see the ghost, but we can see him conversing with someone who's not there. And assume that the ghosts are back.
Could anyone...
Lillith can actually see the boy that's speaking to Alpha, just not as
Me?
clearly as Alpha can. Yes.
I can see him.
Hey.
Yep.
Okay.
Just not as clearly as Alpha can.
So I can see that he's an elf boy. Can
You can
I?
see what looks like a wisp.
A wisp. Okay,
Yes.
because I'm a wisp. Okay, cool. Okay.
Nice.
Before we continue, I have something that I've discovered while going through my spells. I have discovered the potential what is it? You know when it's like the origin, the potential origin of the Headless Horseman story?
Okay.
Because
Very cool.
I can cast Phantom Steed. So as you conjure a large magical equine creature that only you or another small or medium creature you choose can ride. So if Silas sits on that horse, pretty much,
That is an amazing spell.
that is where,
That
like
is
that.
so cool.
right? That's what I'm saying. But think about it. That is the origin of the Headless Horseman. Like, I mean, they see this pumpkin guy on this ghost horse. Like,
Okay, but hold on.
cool.
Let
And
me
it-
take it a step further.
It's a mini version. That is so cute. And he's got his little cape and everything.
right?
Wait,
That's what I'm saying.
hold on. They were willing to pay money for the soggy river monster. If they happen to see a headless horseman riding around at night scaring them, they might put up another reward.
Hey,
I'm just putting it out
hey.
there.
Hey, man.
Whoa. Let's not get ahead of
How would you bring proof of that being vanquished, though?
They must have pumpkins here somewhere.
That's true, actually.
Flash up a pumpkin.
That's true. Yeah.
The letter that we've got, and the lockbox, if we take it into town, wouldn't somebody recognize it? Especially if it's the old father in the bathhouse. Wouldn't he know? Wouldn't he be able to sort of give us some kind of idea there?
Interesting.
It's possible.
We have our
cannot
heading.
answer that right now.
We have. DM, please check your DMs on Discord or on WhatsApp.
What to the question you asked me?
Yeah, just
Yes,
answer me
I already answered you.
on what?
Discord.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. No issues.
Alpha will, whoever is awake, or when he goes to, I presume he's going to go wake up Akari.
Okay.
So, as many people as he can, Lillith, Oryn, Akari, Gregor would probably still be asleep.
Mm,
Again.
Again, he'll say, our heading is Sandpoint.
Ow.
We need to find family of a young elven boy. That is where our journey will start in lifting this curse and bringing vengeance to all the lost souls.
I'll look at Alpha and say the only elf that we saw that was quite along in years was the old man at the bathhouse, the old father at the bathhouse. So maybe we can go and ask him. If he's not familiar with it, maybe he can actually point us in the right direction. But I would definitely start with him, because the ghost speaking to you is definitely an elf.
Oryn's an elf as well, hey?
Yeah.
Okay. Alpha's gonna look at Oryn and then say, you elves live a long and healthy life.
Healthy is debatable, but okay.
Yeah, I
Debatable.
was going to say. Touch and go there.
And then he'll look back at Lillith and say,
Also has elven ears.
Yeah, I'm half elf, half fairy. I think I told you guys that. I'm not sure, but I've also got the pointy ears. I'm just shorter.
he'll tell Lillith, or everyone, but he'll look at Lillith and say, we start with the elf at the bathhouse in
Cool.
Sandpoint. Also, we have 3 days, 2 nights.
Okay. So, who's gonna wake up Gregor? Are we gonna walk in the early hours of the morning on the road, or are we gonna wait until the sun comes out?
I mean,
How long?
Alpha's good. He doesn't need sleep.
You don't think he needs sleep.
At least, yeah.
Well, nor does Oryn. Maybe we can ask your Strider if Gregor can hitch a ride on him, because he's the one that's requiring the most sleep at the moment.
No, he slept already. When he did sleep while you guys were on watch, you can go ahead and wake him up.
That's like 4 hours of sleep.
You can sleep on the horse, Gregor.
Would
If-
would you consider yourself a medium-sized being?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm medium-sized.
You can ride
Well,
the ghost horse.
I
I
was
almost
gonna
said something there. I almost said something there, but let's stay with medium.
Yeah,
My
he
wife
can.
knew what I was thinking. Never mind.
Gregor can always be the part of the swamp monster shall now be played by Gregor. No, okay, cool. So we wake Gregor up as well and say we need to hurry on up out of here because it's 3 days to Sandpoint, right?
Well, it's one day already gone.
So
That's
technically,
what
you've
I'm
got
saying.
2 days to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got 3 days to get everything done.
Let me just say, I don't think this entire thing was planned, like the curse landing on Alpha. But the fact that this is like a vengeful story and Alpha is what he believes in is vengeance, I find that quite funny.
Let me give you. I gave Christopher this idea. I was saying to Audrey that this is not the idea I gave him. I gave him a much lighter idea. But both of us agreed that the person most likely to get cursed would be Alpha. That's one thing we did agree on.
If I was Alpha, I'd start taking this personally. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I can see why Alpha would be the
This makes
most
sense.
likely to get cursed, yeah.
We
Ooh,
were
shiny
kind of-
box.
Got that? He's
were
got
kind of
that
going
chuffy mentality.
Yeah, we were kind of going backwards and forwards, and well, I don't know about Christmas. I was like, if Lilith opens this, it's gonna. But if Oryn opens this, it's gonna look like we're picking on it. We need to kind of be very careful.
And then
Ah,
fortunately, things worked out the way they did.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So,
I wouldn't say unfortunately.
so
So you-
Akari is again going to like walk closer to Oryn. She's gonna stretch a bit and say, "At least we didn't get a wake up alarm from a banshee." And then she's going
Again.
to look at Oryn and say, "So, are we actually leaving him this time, or are you gonna wake him?"
wake him,
He'll
wake
say
him.
it now. Go wake him. But he's on thin ice. No, I'm joking. I don't say that. I'll go wake him.
You wake him up, and he says, "Well, I woke up alone, staring at my ceiling. I tried not to care, but that hurt my feelings. You owe me a hero point."
Very nice.
Ooh.
So,
there's your song lyrics.
some of them, yeah, some of them. I'll give a hero point to anybody who knows what song that's from. Except to Gregor because he knows what it is.
Wait. I
But
think I
can't you-
know.
You can't add an extra hero point. I should have 4 hero points, just FYI, because you can't add more than 3.
Is it
No?
is it that Chapel Roan song? I could be wrong.
No, you're not.
You're not wrong.
Am I right? It's I'm trying to remember which one it is. Hot to go.
There we go. Well
Ooh.
done.
Woo!
Well done.
Job. Good job.
I
I
was
need to
promised
go
a hero
and
point
listen
if I
to
could
it.
work in a modern song into my references, my pop culture references, and that was my challenge. To work in a lyric from that specific song, and I'd get a hero point.
So I'll leave the choice up to the people who have the hero points up for grabs, right? You can bank the hero point, right? So when you use a hero point, you get one back immediately.
Or
Alternatively, we can make you get back to Sandpoint in 1 day.
Oof.
Wait. How long would it take us currently if we didn't burn a hero point to get back to Sandpoint?
Well, it's 2 hero points from the 2 players that they'll have to give up for that. But it's going to take 2
Another-
days for you
another
to
2
get there.
days.
So your 2 nights are done. You've just got 1 day to figure out the rest of the riddle. To find who this person is and
Okay,
to
I hear what
get
you're saying.
everything done.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. So what he's saying is we'll give, instead of 1 day, then Alpha has 2 days. Because what difference would it make? Instead of 1 day, then Alpha's got 2 days to figure it out. In
Mhm.
Sandpoint, instead of 1 day on the road and 1 day in Sandpoint.
Correct. You'll have an entire night in Sandpoint still left.
I think White Man,
And
he's
they-
speaking with
they-
cock tongue. You're giving India, you're an Indian giver here. You can have this. No, you can't.
Remember, Alpha can't die because we need the Strider. I'm just saying. No, I'm not putting any pressure on anyone, but Alpha cannot die.
I'll give it up. It's fine. I don't have a problem.
Alpha is happy if he is allowed to, if the GM will allow also a hero point so that someone can keep theirs.
I'm more than happy to give up mine. That was just a challenge. That was my challenge for today. So I succeeded in my challenge. I don't really care about the hero point. It was more about would I be able to pull it off.
So, Oryn, are you willing to
happy.
give up your banked one? So everybody
I am,
keeps the
yes.
hero points that they have. Just the
Just those 2.
additional ones that you would have gotten now are going to fall away to get you to Sandpoint in 1 day.
I want an
Yep,
explanation how we
I'm
got there
happy
quicker.
with that.
Sorry?
I want an explanation how we got there quicker. Strong wind from behind.
Somehow everything just seemed to work in your favor. It's like good winds, and you actually
When
found a
went
caravan
on
on the
the
way to Sandpoint that was traveling quite fast, and they said, well, just join us. We'll take you there. We're going there
Yeah.
anyway.
We
Cool.
came across a group of people with wagons heading into Sandpoint, and we hopped on the wagons.
Didn't know you were off the wagon.
Ah,
Okay.
Right. So you guys reach Sand Point. I'm gonna say probably here somewhere.
What time? And this will
It
be a
is
day.
now about. No, I'm feeling generous. Let's say 4 o'clock.
On day 2.
Yeah. So it took you 1 day to get back. So from waking up early in the morning
Yeah.
to 4 o'clock. It's now 4 o'clock.
Okay, that will be day 1 then.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Just verifying.
So we
It's
have
day
2 days still.
Yes.
I'm going to, is Gregor would like to look, is there a library or something like that around town that he could go and do research in?
Yes. There's a library. So
What's
Gregor
the
was going
building
off to the
green?
the
Oops.
building in
Gregor?
red is the Rusty Dragon.
Okay, that's the Rusty Dragon.
Yeah.
And then the bathhouse, sorry, because even if I make this bigger, I can't make out very nicely on the map what
Those
it's
are just
doing.
road names, eh? That's not
Okay,
necessarily a building name. It's just road
okay, cool,
names.
cool. All right, so shall we book lodgings at the Rusty Dragon again? And then agree that we're going to go to the bathhouse.
I'm going to the library. Gregor said, I will go to the library and do some research on this. We can meet back at the Rusty Dragon.
It will help if we go to the bathhouse too to wash that swamp water off us.
I can
For
put that
those of
away.
you, for those of you who'd like to know, the library in town is this building over here.
A big ass library.
Yeah, it's a big library.
Yeah,
They've got a big library
I
here.
like this town already.
This is a temple with a graveyard at the back. Over here.
Dresser.
Okay, there we go, Alpha.
Temple
Yes.
2.
It's 2
Dresser.
days now mainly, but it's got a bunch of other.
Okay.
It's any good god you can probably worship there.
Okay.
So it's not specifically only one god, but they are mainly Desna. Okay?
Cool.
And then the bathhouse, from what you guys can remember, alright? It is
Down the road.
it's actually a bit of a distance away, so it's closer to where the library and stuff is. So it's
Okay.
in these buildings here.
We can walk together to the library, maybe? I will
Cool.
join you in the bathhouse later. He says, and he winks at Oryn.
Whoa!
Are we gonna book lodgings at the Rusty Dragon, or are we not gonna bother with that?
We could probably, because we're probably going to be a bit longer on our way past. Or maybe wait until we've done the research. How about
And
that?
Akari is just going to say, well, I don't think that we should have a problem with lodgings at the Rusty Dragon.
Okay.
Show me the
Cool. Yeah, the proprietor, owner.
Amiko.
whatever.
She knows Amiko.
Yes, cool. So are we, the rest of us, heading to the bathhouse, or does Alpha want to go and try his luck at the temple first?
I mean, we can try and go where we are now to the bathhouse, and then he'll probably afterwards try and wrap around to the church.
Cool.
This is the town hall where the reward for the goblins and stuff were. Hey?
We can also go there on our way as well.
Just say.
Yeah. Cool,
Um,
cool.
And while Oryn, while this happening, kind of feel someone tugging on your dress.
Oh, check your pockets.
No, not again, not again.
No, it's Silas.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Lady Oryn.
I was about to go into flight
Fight or flight mode. Lady Oryn,
fight or flight mode.
Who do you want me to go with?
Oryn is going to say, you can go with whoever you'd like, but I would love it if you would come with me.
You don't want me to keep an eye on Gregor? He seems suspect to me.
Yes, see.
Gregor might
To
trade
be
him
fair
for
though, who
something.
doesn't? Yeah. He's going to look at those potion ingredients and he's going,
You're drinking the
Oryn
potions.
is.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna ask what goes in there. If it helps, it helps. Oryn is going to nod at Silas and be like, yes, very suspicious, but I think it'll be best if you come with us.
Okay,
He's
I'll go with you.
yeah. Okay,
I
cool.
like spending time with you.
Oh, Oryn's gonna say, I like spending time with you too.
He's gonna
And
smile
then she's
very,
gonna like hold his hand while they
gonna smile
walk.
very broadly and kind of swing his arm as you're holding his hand, kind of skipping along. And then as you head up the roads, Gregor will hop off at the library and says, well, I will see you all there. And he's going to go into the library and
By the
research.
back road. The back road here. So is he splitting off here, or is he going with
Yeah.
them?
No, splitting
Getting
off
off
there. That's why I'm kind of greeting them already.
Okay.
And going to the library. And there he's going to research firearms and ingredients in the swamp for potions and such like. And if there's enough time left, he'll look into something at the about the rune lords and that kind of thing.
Roll a will save.
Give me a second. Bum, bum, bum.
It
Not to
begs
save anything. It's just how much willpower do you have to research anything apart from the guns and the potions?
Let's go fall
that
asleep
is-
in the library.
I'll fall asleep in the library. That's kind of where I was thinking. I'm not going to lie. That's exactly what I was thinking. Boom!
Yeesh.
Very nice.
Wow.
very cool.
So you research everything you can and set out to research.
Cool.
Right. So the rest of the group, as Gregor moves off to the other side, you walk past the docks, and all of you would probably see Akari looking out towards the docks, and then she moves closer towards the town hall, like almost hugging the wall, and you would see she's nervous.
I missed out on all the fun stuff.
Hey, I asked where you want to leave.
Seeing that, Alpha will put his hand on Akari's shoulder and say, "For I am your sword and your shield, and we will
So
stand together."
As you get closer to her, you can kind of hear her muttering under her breath. Must have been Norbash. I couldn't find him.
Norbash.
Yep. That's what she's saying. She's not even registering what you just said to her.
Wow. Okay. We all see that Akari is nervous. Do we want to approach her and ask what's up, or do we just take our cues from her and Alpha?
Anybody wants to look at the direction she looked, I can tell you what you see.
Let's look.
Make a perception
Oryn
roll.
will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we
Make
need
a
As-
perception roll.
perception?
No, it's not
No,
necessarily.
just kidding.
So as you look out towards the docks, you see a large vessel. It is of a weird design, so it seems like it is not a Western ship. And it has the Miyamoto symbol on its sails and the sides of the boat.
Uh-oh.
Alpha is going to put his hand on Oryn
Oh,
and say,
okay.
"We need to move quickly and keep Akari safe."
Was quick question, I can't remember, was Oryn there when Akari said about if you see anybody with like the her clan symbols, don't say her name, nothing like that?
Yes, she conveyed that information to everyone in the group.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, sorry, Oryn is going to then also probably see the ship, nod her head quickly at Alpha and say, "Let's go." And she's going to kind of lightly pull on Akari's arm and shift her between her and Alpha in such a way that Alpha is on the side closest to the ship, and Oryn is on the other side, and then keep moving.
Okay. While you guys are walking, Lillith is going to feel the shell phone vibrate.
Hello.
You're going to hear in a very kind of silent voice, Gregor's going to say, I forgot to mention. Be alert for Alpha. I don't think he's quite playing with a full deck. And you hear someone saying,
Wow.
Really? That's why you bugged me. We trying to help one of our party, and you're telling me to be wary of Alpha?
I have read his diary. Believe me, it is not sounding very good for us.
Do you want me to share this with anyone else, or is this just you telling me?
From now, it is just you. Yes, someone saying again, "Shh, I'm not telling you again.
Okay, cool. Maybe you should focus on what you're busy with in the library. I'll take that under advisement. Thank you.
Keeping things spicy, making some internal conflict.
So, as the group reaches where the entrance would be for the town hall, right? You see a Kitsune walking out of the town hall, and those of you that have Akari with you, she bolts in between the houses. Like, as soon as she sees this person. The summon is still with you guys, though.
Oh my gosh. Between which houses? To the left of the
Yeah,
building?
in between these, like, this is low-cost housing? Best way to
Okay.
put it? Politically correct?
Yes.
The slum, in other words.
Yeah.
Across from the
The Goblin
hall.
Quadrant.
Okay.
Do we all see this? All of us?
So it's low-cost housing more for the deck work, or for the dock workers.
I just said goblins or orcs.
So yeah, this entire part here is like the housing for the people that work on the docks. So they can get there early in the morning and get back home without it being too late.
Are we gonna follow Akari between the houses, or are we gonna keep on walking past? Like one of our party didn't just avoid bumping into somebody coming out of the city hall.
Is Akari gone? Has she disappeared in between the houses?
Yeah, she bolts in between them.
So she's not hiding in one of the alleyways. She's running around.
Yeah, she's running away from whoever just walked out of the town hall.
Make a stealth check.
I don't think it's going to be necessary from between Alpha and
Alpha's gonna try and keep between where Akari is and where the Kitsune walked out. Just in case Akari ran through one of the back alleys or something, and it so happened that they looked that way. So I'm gonna make Alpha an obstacle for them to have to look past.
Cool.
And then I'll tell Oryn and Lillith, I'll keep watch if you go and grab the bounties.
Oh, we're taking the goblin ears into the.
You also need the head of the goblin chieftain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Alpha will pass. Alpha has that on a rope.
Okay, so that was I was gonna say Alpha had those with him. That wasn't on Strider. So we'll take that off
And the
Alpha.
head. You must have the head too.
Yes. And then do we sort of does this Kitsune acknowledge us, or does she just keep on walking?
It's a guy.
How would you know?
You.
Oh, I suppose you would know. Hey.
Okay. Does he acknowledge us, or does he just keep on walking?
Apparently, they have different talkers
as
between man and a woman.
As he steps out, he's still speaking to the mayor. that's when Akari bolts, and then as soon as he's done, he shakes the mayor's hand, and then he looks at the party and just like bows his head slightly. So he did acknowledge that you're there.
Okay, but he just spoke to the mayor that we're
Yep.
going to now.
Yes.
Alpha's also going to pass the lockbox to Oryn and Lillith. We might be able to get the bounty for the swamp monsters.
Shouldn't we hang on to this and the lockbox until we've been to the bathhouse, maybe?
But yeah, Alpha has the note.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Don't you think we should keep the lockbox too? Until we've spoken to the old man, until we've spoken to the old father at the bathhouse. Maybe it's got some significance as well. And then we'll just get the bounty on the goblins right now. Not do too much at once.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
I mean, it's your guys' choice what you want to do.
Oryn?
I
Oh,
think-
sorry. Gregor is just away from keyboard at the moment, but he's no, it's fine. He's in the library, so he's not gonna be voting
I'm
on
back.
whether
I'm here.
we at the city hall to get the bounty for the goblins. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, for the goblins, and then Alpha suggested we take the lockbox too. And I said to him, shouldn't we maybe wait until we've spoken to the old father at the bathhouse?
I'm not there to weigh in my opinion, but on a personal opinion, I would agree with that. Maybe leave the lockbox for now. We can always come back. That's on a character level, not a player level, not a character level. My advice would be also leave the box until afterwards. You can always come back here. And then also, remember, how many vials did you take of the stuff? Because you gave me one. Do you have more than one vial? Do you only have one vial?
Just the one
No,
vial
I
stuff.
think did I just have the one vial?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Oh dear.
take the vial thing when Gregor gets back. So that'd be even more reason. Take the vial and the, well, what's left of the vial. He'll probably experiment on that later. Take the vial and the lockbox tomorrow.
The vial.
The vial. I like it.
Yeah. So, Alpha, are you happy that we just go and get the bounty on the goblins for now?
Sounds good.
Cool. Then maybe we won't draw as much attention with all of the stuff we're bringing in.
Right, so you guys walk towards the entrance of the town hall. Alpha
Oryn.
staying behind to keep watch.
Yes.
Yes.
Oryn and me.
Yep.
Cool. And Silas possibly, he'll probably join us.
Yeah.
So as Oryn, Lillith, and Silas reach the door, the Kitsune looks to you and like tries to greet you and says, I'm Shin Miyamoto. It's a pleasure to meet adventurers like you.
Pleased to meet you. Shino. Sorry, what was
Shin.
the
Shin.
Shin Miyamoto. I am Lillith, enlisted from the First World. Pleasure's mine.
Oryn is going to firstly, like as she's bowing towards Shin, correct?
She's bowing to Shin, okay?
Yes, that's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of like not like a full bow, but kind of just like a
A mini
Uh,
curtsy. Half a curtsy.
yeah, kind of like a half curtsy thing. And just say it's a pleasure. She's not going to say her name though, but she is going to give also like a quick glance to Liz. Obviously, this being I think the first time we've heard her last name, and kind of be like, okay.
The Kitsune looks at you and then says, "You haven't seen another of my kind around, have you? Kitsune, I mean."
Oryn is going to ponder for a minute and kind of look thoughtfully and think for a minute, and she's going to say, I don't recall. Is there someone specifically you're looking for?
Lillith, are you going to answer
Oh,
before
sorry.
he answers
Okay.
Oryn?
I'll just look at him and say, well, I haven't been around in this world long enough, but I'm always interested in meeting new people, new races. So maybe if you give us some kind of description, we can keep an eye out.
So he looks between the two of you and then he says, "Well, her hair color is similar to yours," pointing at Oryn's hair. And then he says, "It's my daughter. She's been missing for a few years now."
Oryn is going to frown, like furrow her brows and kind of frown and trying to empathize and say, "Oh, I see. That's awful. My condolences. We will definitely keep an eye open and let you know if we see someone."
I'll also look up across at the Kitsune and say that it must be quite horrible to be separated from your kin. We'll definitely keep an eye out, seeing as I'm venturing around in this world and learning all new things. I'll definitely keep my eye out. Is there maybe a message? Should we come across your daughter that we can pass to her?
A perception roll.
Me.
Both of you.
Okay.
Oh dear. Oh, okay.
Have faith.
Okay, 16. It was almost a 20.
Ha! What?
What the heck?
He takes out a small pearl-looking object and says, "Well, if you do find her, just give this to her. It's a gift from her father."
Oryn is going to also say to him while this interaction is happening, what makes you think that she is here of all places?
Oh, I love the way you think.
We received information that she used her family ties in a nearby city, and then shortly after, the crew might have arrived here.
Lillith is just gonna look down at the ears, and who's got the? If I got the ears and the head,
Alpha would have them, wouldn't he?
no, Alpha passed them to us, but to
Okay.
me or to Oryn.
We could each be carrying some of it.
I'll be just looking down and sort of say to him, "Are you gonna take the pull object, Oryn, or do you want me to?"
Oryn,
Okay.
yeah, Oryn will take it.
I'll just look down at the ears and or head that I'm holding and say, well, we can always keep our eyes out. We seem to be pretty good at that. And we've just come here to collect a bounty that was on offer. But we can definitely keep our eyes open.
Much
Oryn
appreciated.
is also going to say to him, she's going to examine the object. What is it again? It's a pearl something.
Looks like a pearl, yes.
Just a normal pearl.
Looks like a pearl.
Not a pendant or a earring or a. It just
Just
looks
a
like a
just a
round,
orb.
like a
It's
round,
just a orb.
shiny white. I assume because you say pearl, so it's like a roundish, a spherical, shiny thing.
Yes, but it is marbled. So it's not perfectly white.
Okay. All right. I'll look
Or-
over at Oryn and just sort of raise an eyebrow, trying to not look as if I have any idea what this is.
Oryn is going to kind of admire the pearl and just say to him, it's very I'm trying to think of the right word. Basically, like, she's going to say, are you sure that you should be giving this item to me? What if we don't find your daughter? Shouldn't you keep it in case you find her yourself?
Nice.
He smiles and then he says, well, we've been handing them out in the bucket load to each city that we think she is, so it's just a small token from the Jade Empire.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little bit racist. I mean, like, to give to the daughter, to say, oh, it's from your father. You know, that's not very sentimental, you know?
Does
I
Oryn say
don't
that?
think there's
No.
sentimental. I don't think there's anything
Does
sentimental if he's
Oryn
been
use detect
handing.
magic?
Yeah, because he's been handing these out by the bucket load. So obviously, there's more to it than just a shiny
Yeah,
spherical object.
Oryn will use detect magic.
Right.
Is detect magic visible to the people around her?
No.
Okay, because yeah, I would just hate for this uncle to know that we onto what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, Oryn, you reach out with your detect magic sensors, right? You detect a very similar arcane or magical essence from Shin that you do from Akari. And then as you try and focus more on the item he gave you, you feel an overwhelming presence of magic right behind him. You cannot see it with your naked eye, but it feels almost like a celestial being standing behind him.
So I get all of that from trying to focus on the pearl.
Yes. Your senses get overwhelmed by whatever is standing behind Shin from detect magic.
All right.
He's
Well,
possessed.
Oryn is then going to nod at him and say, well, thank you. We'll definitely let you know if we see anything. Please excuse us. We must get this bounty recovered and carry on with our journey. Yeah. All the best with finding your daughter. We wish you luck. And she's going to bow and then kind of not obviously, but kind of put her hand on Lilith's back to push her forward, like we need to go now. But again, not obviously.
So Shin says, of course, it's adventurers after all. And then he holds the door open for you guys to walk into the town hall.
Oryn will just again just have a small bow, say thank you, and then walk in.
Let
I'll
you follow?
just say, yes, well, Oryn's short of poking me in the ribs, telling me we need to go. I'll also just over my shoulder say, thank you for your kindness and good luck. We'll maybe see each other somewhere on the road.
He waves you guys off as you walk into the town hall. And then he starts walking back towards the docks. And then he stops close to Alpha and he says, nasty curse.
This made me think of if Alpha was drinking coffee, it's put it back at him. It's like, what? What did you say?
Are the Miyamotos all magic users?
Her father definitely is.
Oryn is going to say to Lilith in Sylvan, she's going to whisper to Lillith and say, it's a real shame that he cannot find his daughter. And she's going to give, like, raise her eyebrows at Lillith and make it very, like, pointed. Like, give her a look. Kind of the same look that parents will give their kids in public to, like, like, pay attention to what I'm saying. Yeah,
Okay.
And then she's going to say, we should definitely keep an eye out for her. And she's going
Yes.
to take the pearl and she's kind of going to, like, lift it in her hands a little bit so Lilith can see that she's trying to draw attention to it. And she's going to say, maybe we should, and then emphasize these two words. Or she's going to say, maybe we should not, and then emphasize on specifically forget this. And she's hinting at the pearl. She doesn't want to outright say, like, we must leave the pearl behind, but we have to get rid of this, basically.
Yeah, no. Can you try and detect magic while he's not with you now to see if it changes at all?
Good idea. Let me do that.
Right, I'll get back to your answer now. Alpha, is there something you would like to say? As he kind of stops, looks at you and says, nasty curse.
Alpha, at this point, Alpha would kind of be leaning on, not standing, kind of almost standing in the alleyway where Akari ran off into. Kind of leaning against one of the walls or one of the houses. And then he'll look the Kitsune up and down and say, you seem well versed in curses.
Most things divine and occult, he'll answer.
Alpha will stand straight and say, well, this isn't any, this, it's, It's sounded better in my head. No, I don't know how to say it. I've taken care of worse things.
None your business. Keep on walking.
And nods with a bit of a smile, and then Alpha, you would see his summon. Almost looks like it's manifesting behind him, but it's just dropping its invisibility. It is probably as tall as one of the towers outside of the town hall. And it looks like an angel that walks along with Shin back down towards the boat.
Would Alpha be able to recall anything about that type of summon or creature or anything?
Sure, you can roll a d20.
Just a plain d20.
Yep. Right. You know that it is a being of the celestial realm. And from the scriptures and stuff you've read, it seems like a avenger.
Avenger.
Yes.
I take it
Like
not
Captain
for
America.
study.
No. Not like Avengers Assemble. Avenging angel. Let's just clear that up.
Great
The
job.
warring kind.
It'd be really
The
funny if...
kind that would probably kill you, yes.
Love that.
Oh, wow.
Alpha's gonna look... as he's walking away, right?
Yes.
Is
Towards the docks.
Akari summon still with Alpha? Because the summon was walking with us, or did she disappear when
No,
Akari
she's still with
got...
Alpha.
Oh my gosh.
Alpha's gonna say, you probably don't know some blessing magic. Maybe save me a trip to the church, would you?
Shin stops and turns back to Alpha and then says, well, what do you have to offer for such a thing?
It's a trap, Alpha. It's a trap.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Hear
So,
me out.
what if I send him on a goose chase or
Oh wow, good idea.
what is that?
Deception.
No. Is it a wild herring or a herring?
Red herring.
Red herring. There
Red
we go.
herring and a wild goose chase. Yes.
Yes.
Try.
I like that.
So he's still asking, what do you have to offer for such a blessing?
How well is he dressed?
He looks like royalty.
Okay.
Alpha's checking out his fashion sense.
Hey,
Okay.
I mean, Fabulous rubbed off, eh?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Fabulous would be so happy with you.
Alpha will say, well, it doesn't seem it already seems like gold fills your pocket. How about information?
Very good.
He smiles and then says, well, how perceptive of you. What information do you have?
Well, what do you need?
I'm looking
Cat and
for my
mouse.
daughter. She has red hair and she's a Kitsune. And her name is Akari. Have you heard of her? Seen her? Know where I could find her?
This can either go really good or really badly.
How much life do you have? Remember, you cannot be caught in a battle. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Or
not
the
enough.
abyss
Not
has
enough
your
for this
name
fight.
on it. The abyss has your name on it. I'm just saying.
His deception modifier was what I rolled for to get the 39, and he rolled a 15.
So deception's not going to work.
His deception is high.
Yeah, that was his deception, not his being able to ignore yours. That's what his deception is.
If I have to roll deception, what does he have to roll? Perception.
Yes.
I don't really want to know what if his deception is that high. I don't want to know what his perception is.
What's your deception?
8.
It's not
You
bad.
need to roll a 15 to get his plus modifier on his perception.
His plus.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Like, yeah, no, this guy's on higher grade English right here, Alpha. I'm just saying. Higher grade magic user.
He's level 17. Meta knowledge to you guys.
No. Alpha's going to say, have you filled in a missing persons report?
Wow.
Put up a wanted poster.
Wow.
Is anybody
That's impressive.
anybody else picturing a milk carton with Akari's photo on it?
He he smiles a bit and says, "Well, that's technically why I spoke to the mayor in town. But this is a matter for the Jade Empire to sort out by themselves. The less people who know, the better."
Alpha will say, although I can't give you precise locations of where your daughter might be, I'll be sure to report to the mayor or the guard if I see something. Maybe I'll have information next time.
He nods and then he says, most cities have Miyamoto clan members in them, so if you find yourself in a different city and you find something, you can let us know.
Alpha will just nod.
Maybe Akari should have stayed behind in the swamp.
And then the summon is going to lean down and just touch Alpha with one of its wings. And Alpha, you feel exhausted right now.
That's awful.
But you're not dying 3 anymore.
Wait, am I healed?
Yeah, you got a blessing.
Hey.
Hey, go
Sorry?
Alpha.
He got blessed.
Yep.
Okay, wait, hold on, sorry. By which summon? Which summon?
By her father's summon.
The
I was
avenging.
about to say, I thought you meant Akari summon. I was like, couldn't you have done that sooner?
No. No, Akari doesn't have that spell yet.
Okay, alright.
If-
Yay!
So Alpha's feeling like tired, very tired. He's
Motherless, tired.
yes.
Like you haven't
Like you
literally
haven't slept
for
in
3
a couple
days.
in a week or something.
Alpha's probably gonna take a kneel of like exhaustion, and then he'll say that angel is called an avenger. Hey,
Yes, an avenging angel.
an avenging angel. And then Alpha will say, "Very impressive summon, your avenging angel."
So Shin smiles a bit and then he says, well, seems like you've dealt with summoners before then. And he walks back to his ship.
Mm-hmm.
The plot thickens.
Oh, Alpha's cured. We can go back now.
Boom.
So, for the people
Hey.
inside, right? Are you trying to sell each one of the ears as different ears, or are you selling them as sets of ears?
There's 20 years altogether, just by the way, FYI.
They were originally sets, like off the
Yeah.
same goblin,
There's
right?
actually 10 goblins.
Mm.
And I said cut off both ears and try to pawn them
Plus
off
the
as
chieftain.
20.
Mhm.
Well, do we want to be tricksy, or are we gonna just say we cleared out the village?
And
Well,
obviously the
we
heads
need-
you can.
Yeah.
I think if we be very casual about it and we kind of just say we cleared out the village, and kind of say like 1 ear per goblin as promised.
Okay. Cool. So you go and speak to... Do you speak to the mayor? Who do you speak to specifically?
Who is there? The mayor?
There's
And
a few people in the building. There's a gnome standing at the reception. And then there's the mayor walking around. He seems nervous as well. You don't have
well,
to
he
roll
might be
perception.
easier to take advantage of mayor.
Roll
Shall
intimidation.
we approach like the whoever's sitting at a table or a kiosk or whatever, and ask them about the bounty and that we're here to collect on it?
Good idea.
Play it a little bit more casual.
Sounds like a plan.
So as you walk up, the gnome smiles and says, well, do you have any goblin ears or the goblin chieftain's head for us? I believe the notices were
Funny you
outside.
should mention it.
Yeah. How's about both? And we'll put our stash on the counter.
So the gnome kind of looks at the head and then the ears and is like, did you find the village and clear it out?
Oryn, you want to take this one?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
The gnome nods and then calls over the mayor, and the mayor just looks at him and says, yes, it's fine, and then walks back to his office. And then the gnome says, I'll just need to get your coin for that. That's quite a bit of coin.
Arn will say thank you and kind of laugh and say, well, it was definitely a hard job. Wasn't easy.
Nasty fireworks.
Truth.
Yes. Truth?
So the gnome scuttles off and then comes back with 25 platinum pieces.
Oof.
Platinum.
Yes, that's
2,000.
2,500 gold. worth of platinum.
Just interest sake, does the gnome think that 1 ear was 1 goblin?
Yes.
So you got paid for 20 goblins.
Love that.
And then got the 500 gold bonus for the chieftain's head.
You're welcome.
Well done, team.
Woo!
Well done, team. Right. Shall I get
Alrighty.
platinum pieces and then I'll put it into my notes that we can add it in our raid chest.
The gnome kind of
Sounds good.
laughs a bit when he brings back the platinum pieces, and he says it's just a bit lighter than the gold.
Yeah, I would think.
Much
Thank you
appreciated.
kindly. Yeah, thank you kindly.
Before they leave, if Lilith wants to take the money outside, she's welcome to. But Oryn just wants to ask, is there anything else in this area that you guys are looking for help with? Any more bounties to be collected? Just out of curiosity.
Ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
We
Oryn has
saving
dollar
up to,
signs in her eyes.
yeah, we saving up to buy our own island or something.
Correct.
Well, and then he takes out a piece of paper with a bounty on it, and then the word Akari is written on it, and then he says, "We have this that just came in with that gentleman that met you at the door. Do you guys want to see what the reward is?"
It's gonna
I
be a
do,
lot.
but I feel like it might be a bit offensive.
I was gonna say, if we take the bounty, can somebody else come and sign up for it as well?
Yeah, it's how bounties work. Whoever gets back first.
Just for interest sake, sorry. Just more or less, what would a lifesteal, the highest lifesteal enchantment cost, more or less?
I'm gonna have to check that. That's I don't know right now.
If
I'll have to
if it is
ask
less than the bounty, I'm very sorry, Akari.
that. It is less than the bounty. It is much less than the bounty that's being offered.
I'm so close to Oryn. I'll continue speaking in Sylvan and say, seeing as you asked, we better take one, or else it's going to look super suspicious, and we're just going to have to take heed of our friend and tell her that she's in real trouble here.
Agreed. How much is the bounty worth?
How much is it worth?
Obviously, yeah, like obviously
cross.
looking at the paper, what is it? Yeah.
I smell a double cross coming.
So
No. I just need to know how much trouble she's in.
So at the
Uh-huh.
bottom, it says credible leads is 100 platinum, and if you bring her back, it says 250, and then it has a IC.
What is IC?
It is iridescent coins, so that is worth 100 platinum.
That's 100,000 gold.
Yep.
I'm just saying, I smell a double cross.
TPK.
No. We need to take this document with us. Thank the gnome and
Of
go.
course, you show her the document before you double cross her. Duh.
No, we'll take this with us, because otherwise, if we don't take it, it's going to be really, really suspicious.
And then as you take it, the gnome says, also, the bounty doesn't get brought in here. That's more money than this town makes in a year.
You could buy the town.
What would be defined as a credible lead?
A lead that helps them find Akari.
Send them off
Yeah,
to
but I mean,
Ravensmoor.
obviously there's no. That's what I'm getting at. Because I mean, what do you say? I mean, do you get them now? I mean, like a credible lead. There's nothing that you could necessarily say, is there? Because I mean, then it's just you have to take someone's word for it.
I think credible in terms of when they catch up to her, you'll get your reward. I don't think you get it beforehand.
Correct.
I would assume.
So if you give them a lead and say, listen, I saw her here, and they go there and they catch her, you get your gold or platinum in this case.
But if you bring her to them yourself, you get more.
much more.
Okay. All right.
Akari, apologies in advance.
No,
What's going
no,
to
no,
happen?
no. No.
I don't like how you guys are assuming the worst of me.
Not
Oh,
you.
I
I
don't.
would do that.
No.
Hey,
And
Gregor.
then at the bottom of the page, it says that this information regarding the bounty needs to be handed into a Miyamoto official. Or if you have Akari.
Hey, Gregor. I was thinking, Newcastle.
Yeah,
Let's
do
buy a
they,
new town.
do we
Yeah.
we have do the Miyamotos have, oh, you did say they from your you know them from
Bench,
your Gregor.
I don't know them.
Didn't you
Oh.
say you know the Miyamotos from your
Nope.
hometown?
Nope.
Well, as
Okay.
Oryn and Lillith walk out, you do see a extremely exhausted looking alpha outside.
Hanging on by his toenails there and his fingernails, leaning against the dilapidated house.
Pretty much.
Okay, so I'll definitely walk straight up to Alpha and sort of ask him what's going on. Why do you look like you've run a marathon here?
He didn't introduce himself to Alpha. Hey, he didn't say my name is wada.
He did say his name is Shin.
Shin.
Yes.
Um,
He's looking for Akari.
what race was he again?
Kitsune.
Kitsune. Alpha will look up at Lillith because Alpha's kind of leaning against the house. And he'll say, "We need to stay as far away from that Kitsune as possible."
Yes.
Oh, which one?
The man?
Good question.
I'll
That's a good
actually
question.
ask, are we referring to the man or to the woman? I'm not going to say the name.
Akari's father. So
The man.
yes, if he says Kitsune, he'll look off in the direction where he was walking to.
Towards the boat.
Towards a boat. So kind of inferring the father.
Okay, cool.
Oh, hang on. Before you continue talking, you still were going to tell me what the...
It didn't cost to take magic on the pearl. Like, it went back to you guys, and then you went to go and give the bounty back.
True that. You haven't
Don't
detected
play on
magic.
our bad memory like that.
Hey!
You were going to tell us after.
So, Alpha, what are your precise words that you say?
Oh,
Alpha's just
Don't
gonna
say her
say
name. Don't say her name.
no.
Don't say
Alpha
her
is not
name.
gonna say her name nor anything about the Miyamoto. Nothing like that. He'll say that Kitsune is a dangerous man,
Nice.
and we should
Okay.
try
Good
and
job, good
stay
job.
clear.
Cool. Oryn, do you check the pearl now?
Yes.
Right. So, you see the Miyamoto symbol looking at you.
What?
Throw the pole.
At the
Oryn is going to say, I agree. I think he's a dangerous man. It is a real shame about his daughter. I hope that he does find her. And she's going to kind of stick the pearl she's going to kind of like hold it in her hand but keep it closed. So like at her side so that her entire hand is around the pearl, that, I mean, it's not looking at her. And she's just going to also raise her eyebrows at Alpha and kind of very, very nonchalantly put like a keep quiet finger to her lips and just shake her head no. and then look down at the pearl in her hand, trying to be like, look.
Alpha's gonna try and stand up using the house as a like support, and then say, it is best we don't get involved in what seems to be family business.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice.
Play.
So, Oryn, in case you want to know, right? The pearl that he gave you is a pearl of power.
Okay.
It
Looking
is
promising so far.
it is
What power
not
though?
a lesser pearl of power. So this can make you cast a up to level 4th or 4th level spell for free again.
Oh my gosh.
But you have to first have a 4th level spell. It doesn't
Yeah,
give
so
you
for you it's going
the
to give
ability.
you your highest level
Okay.
spell
Okay, cool.
free again.
And they're
What
giving
is
that
the
stuff
catch?
out by the bucket. Jeez.
That's what a pearl of power does.
But why is
Where's
the
the closest merchant?
in town. In town.
Why is the
I would like
Miyamoto
to go there.
sign? Why is the
You don't want to
Miyamoto
keep it for
sign
yourself and cast
looking
another
at
spell.
Oryn?
Gives you another spell per day of your highest level.
Mm.
I'm with Oryn. What's it gonna cost though?
If this thing is watching us, I mean, we cannot go anywhere near Akari. We cannot
Okay, also
discuss
true.
it. We cannot warn her.
Okay, also true.
There's
Also
nothing.
true.
So in my head, either, again, trying to weigh up, either I sell Akari, snitch on her now. I'm kidding. Or I get rid of the pearl quickly so that we don't run into this problem. Because, I mean, surely if the thing is watching us, my way of thinking is that if I sell it for the money, that's kind of like what a bounty hunter would do. Because what is this pearl of use
Mm-hmm. Got you.
other than to get money? So it's kind of like a plausible way of quote unquote losing the pearl
I like
or
it.
getting rid of it without
cool.
making them suspicious. Because if I say, oh, I'm going to attack this thing so that Akari doesn't find out, I mean, that's not going to go well.
Cool.
Right. For those of you with Alpha, right, as you look at the summon that's still standing there, you see that she sighs quite deeply and then she starts like shaking and sweating. Like this is stressful to her, and you know that she shares emotions with or feelings with Akari.
Is the summoner still with us, Akari summon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her father didn't recognize the summon.
Nope.
Okay, good job.
Not that you know of.
Is there somehow okay? Can we put that pool into the box where the cursed papers were in? Just so that for the time being it's out of sight, or is it not going to change anything?
Yeah. Do you lock the lockbox then?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just asking.
No, I don't think that's a very good idea.
Alpha's
Okay,
curse
you're
has
not
been
gonna-
lifted. Oh, he'll just mention that why he's so tired is
Oh.
his curse has been lifted.
Yes. Cool. So Alpha is now back to Alpha wanting to charge in bull in China shop mode. So
Not at the
Alpha can
moment, but
renegade.
as soon as
Yeah,
that's pressed, yes.
Yes. Okay, so are we going to go to the bathhouse first, or would Oryn want to go and get rid of that pool as quickly as possible?
You guys go to the bar, I'll meet you there. Let me go to the merchants. I'll
Okay,
go on my broom with
cool.
Silas.
Cool. So I'll help Alpha, give him a little bit of a he can lean on my shoulder or whatever, and then we'll continue to the bathhouse.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So as you guys walk away, you notice that the summon is just standing there. She's not moving.
Try and call the summon to follow.
Call the summon, just like, hey, you follow me.
Well, point towards the summon and then ask, are you coming?
Cool. Because we don't know her name, right?
Yes, you do not know her name.
Yeah, hello.
We
hello.
really need
Mommy.
to.
Yeah, campfire and have a powwow.
Yeah. Because at this point we're going,
Hey, you! No, not
come
you.
on.
Not the ears.
The
And the wings.
summon shakes her head and then like kind of goes down on her knees and holds her head.
Oh my gosh, I can't deal with two ailing people. Can I get Alpha to the bathhouse first? Can I ask this? Can I ask her? Is your connection good? I don't want to use the name.
Well,
Mistress is maybe wrong.
from her outward expression and how she's reacting, it almost seems like the connection is way too strong at this stage.
And she's not looking healthy.
She is looking on the verge of a panic attack.
Okay, shell phone, tring tring, Gregor.
Really? I'm busy.
Gregor, I need your help. You need to pull your nose out of the book and come and give me a hand. We obviously we're not speaking out loud. Oh well, Gregor does. Do we have to speak into the shell? Use telepathy. How does it work? You had to you were talking. They were
Yeah.
telling you to keep quiet.
Yeah.
Shoot.
He was mouthing the words. I don't know if you actually have to mouth the words.
Okay. I need your help in front of the mayor's no, the hall, please. We have a situation.
Code blue, code blue.
SOS, Mayday, Mayday, SOS. Danger, Will Robinson. Sorry.
I'm in the middle of something very important. Is it really that necessary?
Yes.
There is one of me here. There are four of you there.
No, you have this wrong. It's 1 and 2 down over here.
You've got, oh, fine. You hear a
Make
book
it
slam
snappy.
shut. You can almost hear him stomping out of the thing, like not very happy. And he
Right.
does come round.
So, Oryn, you heading off to a merchant, correct?
Yes.
Is there a specific type of store that you're looking for, or just like general store?
Jeweler might be a good idea, or a magic shop.
Yeah, I agree. Either of those.
Right. So I'm gonna say you find the jeweler first, and you walk in with the lockbox, and you put it down, and then you take out the pearl to sell it to the jeweler. Correct?
I don't think we put the pearl in the lockbox. I think
Yes.
because I said that's not a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Orange
lockbox
told
and
me
things
not
are
to
still
do
with
that.
them.
Yeah, that's
So-
with Alpha.
You take the pearl out and you put it down on the table at the jeweler, and the jeweler looks at it and says, 2 copper.
Ah,
You're being robbed.
Boom.
The jeweler then looks back at you and says, they've been handing these out, and then he kind of steps to the side, and you can see about 50 of them.
good.
Buy them off him. Buy them off him.
Why?
Then you can go trade them at a magic shop. Ask him if you can buy it for 2 coppers. Suggestion.
Yeah, I
You might
suppose so. But I mean,
you want to check the magic shop first. They could have the same thing.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. So let me go to the magic shop first. I can always go back. Also, why would I buy it off of him if I can just go to any random like guard in the city and say, "Oh, I didn't get one. Please give to me for free."
True.
Right, so you go to the magic shop, right? And as you take
Yes.
out the pearl and you try and give it to the magic shop owner, he just says, I'm not interested.
Oryn is going to look at him and be like, "Why?"
Because we have too many.
Throw it in the river, Oryn.
Mm-hmm.
Oryn is
just
going to ask the magic shop owner she's going to say, could you tell me more about this? I understand that there are magical properties, but could you explain to me more in depth how these work?
He looks at you and then back at the pearl and he says, well, it's a pearl of power. It helps you use magic more often than you should be able to.
What happens to the pearl if I use it?
Nothing. It recharges when you sleep.
I just have the sign on
Oryn,
it.
yeah, Oryn is going to say it has the Miyamoto symbol on it. I feel like I'm being watched, and she's going to kind of like laugh. She's going to say it more as like a joke and show it to him like, look at this thing. Like, isn't it crazy? Right?
So as you say Miyamoto, you can see the other pearls that you have. All of them look at you.
That's not creepy at all.
He says, yes. That happens when you say their name.
She's going to look at it and say, I wonder why that is. Do you know?
It is quite a conundrum, but it might be a scrying stone. They have similar properties and usually have phrases that activate them. I trust you
I
know what a
see.
scrying stone is.
They sit
I'm
on
sure
their
Oryn does, but for those who do not, please explain.
It's like a spy device, so it relays
Yeah.
what it can hear and see depending on what level it is.
Okay, I figured as much. I just wanted to double check. Oryn is going to say, I see.
So do they.
Oof, that's rough. Oryn is going to say, oh, well, this guy must be quite desperate to find his daughter. I hope everything goes as it should.
Right. It's clear the shop owner doesn't know about looking for his daughter.
Okay. Wouldn't he have been handed one as well if they're passing it out?
No, he was probably... He
Were you
bought
handed
all
out?
of these, thinking, geez, look at it. He bought them at a lower price until he saw, well, they're being handed out like candy. So he is quite upset with it at this stage.
Would you have given it to a shopkeeper? Because how's he ever going to see her?
That's why people are going to sell it to the shopkeep.
Hmm.
Similar thinking to Oryn.
Yeah. Oryn is then just going to kind of put it on the table and just put it like still there next to her hand. She's just going to look around the shop and she's going to say, what else do you sell here?
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Is there anything specific you could go into?
What are you looking for? He answers.
So it's a magic shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Hear me out. I'm just trying to get this is meta knowledge. I'm just trying to get conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So, you know, she's like, so Oryn will just say to him, it's my first time here in Sandpoint, so I'm just looking to see what you have to offer.
Well, if you're looking for local delicacies, I'd recommend one of the inns. Souvenirs would be at the general store. Comes to magic items, we're kind of... If you need something specifically, I can say if we have it or if I could get it for you.
I see. Oryn is then just going to take a walk around the shop and say, well, thank you for your time. I'm assuming there's things like on shelves.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking. If there's something specific you're looking for, I can tell you if they have it or not.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm going to place the pearl down on one of the shelves. and then I'm going to pick up another item. It doesn't matter what item it is, just any item that is closest to me. I'm going to say, how much for this? And kind of looked very like happy and shocked and surprised that I found this item.
Okay, roll a d12.
D12. Just
Yes.
straight?
Yeah, just straight d12 to see what you pick up.
Cloak of invisibility with 1 platinum.
Wow.
So he looks at you and then
Roll milk teeth.
the ring you're holding, and then he says, well, the friendship ring, it's not really worth much. It just helps you telepathically speak to someone. If they have one with them as well, and it's... You know what? For the set, I'll give it 5 gold.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, Oryn is going to, but again, like very exaggeratedly be thrilled about this item. So she's gonna be like, oh, what? Oh, I can't believe I found this, and she's going to quickly move away from the shelf, to the guy, and she'll be like, I'll take it right now. She will have left the pearl on the shelf though,
Okay, cool.
but
I
like
forget.
kind of tucked away behind something else. So it's not
Nice.
obvious that she left it lying there. But she's going to make it very, very like she got so distracted and so excited that she
A reverse pickpocket. You're making a deposit.
yeah.
Cool. So he says, for the set, give you 5 gold. You can have both.
I'll take it. Okay. Let me just get rid of 5 gold. And then she's going to I'll remove it now, but then she's gonna say, thank you so much. She's gonna throw the gold down on the counter and like run out.
Okay.
And again, like squealing with excitement.
That's Silas following along.
Yes.
Silas happily skipping along behind you.
Cool. I'm gonna say Gregor reaches the group along with Oryn at the same time, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys get back to Alpha and Lillith standing there with the horse and the summon, who's kind of just called into a ball right now.
Yeah, you took your sweet time, Gregor. Thank you. We have a situation.
Hang on again. One more thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Once Oryn reaches the group, she's gonna cast Detect Magic again.
Okay. You detect the magic from the rings and the magic items you have, but there's no sense of the pearl and stuff. So that the sense that it gave you is no longer close to you. It's still around in the city, but there's not one close to you.
Okay. Oryn is going to say to all of those who do know about the pearl, which I'm assuming is only Lillith and Alpha, and she's going to say, I've taken care of our personal situation. However, I feel like we should still stay on guard. And then she's going to look at Gregor, quickly grab his hand, slide the ring on, one of the rings, and then just tell him telepathically what happened. And say, don't speak about it. Hey.
It's official.
Thumb ring.
Are we back to do you?
Yeah, it was a joke when he asked me, so I figured I've got to ask now.
Okay, sorry.
Good job.
I was
Good
sidetracked.
job.
Sorry, what? And you're telepathically just going to tell him what happened with the everything, or just what happened in the magic store?
No, everything.
Everything. Okay, thank you. He's just going to say, okay. Well, he'll probably say in his head, "Okay, I understand. We will get this done.
Oryn will
Thank you for
then take
trusting me."
Oryn will take the ring back after that. So if she needs to give it to whoever she needs to talk to.
I
As
no
you take
longer
it back, as you take it back, what the? And it stops.
Do we want to know who's going on in that head?
Definitely not. Well, not to be obvious here, I've got Alpha leaning on me. Somebody needs to help
I'll grab.
the
I'll help you. I'll grab.
remaining two friends or help
I can
Alpha.
help you with Alpha.
Cool. The summon
I'll
yeah.
I'll help the summon.
And I'll kind of go over my shoulder. Where is the other one?
That is the question.
Guys, we're gonna have
Probably
to learn
not
to speak in
far.
riddles.
Yeah, probably not too far away from the summon.
Um Oryn is gonna say, we've seen a lot of people wandering the streets down the alleyways and look towards the direction that Akari ran down.
Does our fluffy friend have a cloak?
To Akari.
Yes. I don't want to use her
Nope.
name. Not. Okay, I have one that I will gladly pass to her while we here, because she's obviously going to need some kind of disguise while we in town. Because yes, she's now on a wanted poster.
I'm gonna. Gregor will kind of look over his shoulder and said, "Maybe we should buy a kitty leash."
Really?
So, Oryn, you're helping up the summon, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, Oryn, as you help her up, right, you see that her skin turns darker. So she has a darker skin right now, and her hair goes black.
Okay.
And then as you help her up, she seems to walk normally as soon as that's done.
Okay. Are we going to be looking for her companion, or can she detect where her companion's at, or are we gonna leave her here and go to the bathhouse?
Question, quick. Can Akari and the summon not switch places?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Sorry. Need to be a high level.
Okay. Well, I'm still saying if we find a fluffy member of the party, I'm quite prepared to give her one of the cloaks that I have. I had one made by Fabulous, and I have another one that I had from First World to help her with walking around in the
You don't have one from Fabulous. You bought a waistcoat from Fabulous and a scarf.
Oh, yes, I did. Do I only okay, well
No
then
joke.
my apologies.
Um,
Silas got the cloak. I'll still give her the cloak that I have from First World.
Let her put on Silas's cloak. I will pay money for that.
Man.
I think I still have a cloak from the cultists. I was traveling in that. I don't think I got rid of it.
Okay.
Remember, I knew I had another one. We've got the cultist cloaks that we got there.
Well, they
They're more
had
robes than
rags
cloaks,
on.
but like, yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
well,
rag-like robes. Robes.
It's still better than like wings that are, sticking
Yeah.
out, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we'll offer it to her, see if she wants it.
You're offering that to the summon.
Yes.
Well, we also need to find the other member of our party. She's the one that everybody is looking for.
So, Oryn, as you try and give her the robe, she's going to politely decline, and she's going to say, "We need to find my master. I cannot hear her. I don't know where she is."
Not a good sign. Don't they have a psychic link?
They do, usually.
Oryn is going to cast Detect Magic to see if she can sense where Akari is coming from, if there is like or if she can sense her presence anyway.
What's the range on your detect magic?
Quite far if I remember right.
30
I'll
feet
check
or
for
something,
you.
right?
60 feet if I remember right as well. Yeah. Mostly than 60.
30 feet, yeah.
Oh, 30. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
30 foot radius, you cannot pick up where Akari is.
Maybe we should head down the alleyway then. Oryn will say that to everybody. She'll say, maybe we should go that way, and also again like nod her head in the direction and say to find what we're looking for.
Cool. Is Alpha capable of doing that right now?
And I know Alpha's very tired, but yeah, will he be able to still kind of walk? Maybe just at a slower pace?
Gregor can piggyback him.
He can get on the
What?
horse.
You're drunk.
Put him in
Alpha
another
could be on the
pocket of
horse.
his cloak. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Strider's there. The Strider's there.
Alpha is going to say to everyone, to make our search maybe a little bit quicker, what if Oryn gave Alpha the ring, she wears the other ring, so we can telepathically talk. Myself and the horse will run through any of the major or routes big enough where the horse can fit
Okay.
and see if we can't find our friend.
Okay, I like it. They're in this area where she disappeared into.
I'm happy with that. I don't know if we want to split up in any other way, or you're just going to go with the horse and then the rest of us go a different way.
I mean, if we can stay 2-2, so Alpha stays with the horse with the ring, Oryn can maybe stay with Lillith, and then Lillith can still talk to Gregor with the shell folk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Correct.
a good idea, because then we have like a full 3-way communication.
Yes, correct.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Which way is who going?
Hmm.
Alpha
Everyone goes
and
quiet.
the steed. Alpha and the steed need to stick to like
Well,
main roads, and then Gregor and Oryn and myself, we need to in between the houses. That would be my take on it, but I don't have a specific go left or go up or whatever. I'll leave that to Oryn and Gregor to call.
I feel Gregor and the summon being paired up together is not going to end well. Just putting that out there.
We
But
can
neither
easily-
confirm nor deny.
Do you want to? Okay, so does Oryn want to pair up with Gregor, and then I'll go with the summon, because then we're still gonna have the 3-way communication.
I'm happy to go with Lilith. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the inevitable.
I think it's
fear that-
fine. It's fine that way. It's Oryn and Lilith, Alpha and the horse, and Gregor and the summon.
Uh-huh.
Which way do you
Okay.
guys go?
We'll go maybe down the way that we saw Akari go. Or actually no. If Oryn can detect magic, she'd have a better chance taking a different pathway, because then maybe Gregor can we'll send Gregor and Akari not Gregor and Akari, Gregor and the summon down the path that we last saw her go, so he has a bit of a stronger lead.
Okay,
Cool.
I don't know if that would help at all.
that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. I like that idea.
Because as long as I'm walking around, I'll be able to detect her magic coming from somewhere. But obviously, if you can't, at least you're traveling that general direction.
Okay, so we're
Okay.
sending Gregor and the summon that way. Oryn and Lilith, which way are you two going?
Well, we need to maybe go. She disappeared into the slums, so I'm assuming we need to take the next path into the slums. Or could she have gone anywhere in the city now?
She's been gone for quite a bit.
Right. Maybe there. But shall we do by the bathhouse and the library? Gregor, you never saw anything when you came. Which way did you come back? Down the main road or between the bathhouse,
No, the other way around. Would have been this way around.
the bottom? Okay, but
On the
still the
bottom.
main roads, not in between.
No.
Shall we maybe go in between where the bathhouse and the what's that town hall is? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I think so.
Okay. Alpha, you guys going back this way, or which way are you guys going?
Maybe towards where the bathhouse is. I feel if this area we're gonna search in this one. Maybe if she's gone for a while, she's probably made some ground. So I would say bathhouse-ish.
Yeah, cool. Heading up away from the docks, I would assume she'd be moving away from danger, I would think.
Yes, and then every kind of alleyway, wherever the horse can fit.
Okay.
Right. So, are any of you on the way to the bathhouse?
We also
Specifically.
took the buttonate.
Well, we trying to find Akari first before we go to the bathhouse. And Oryn and I would be closest to the bathhouse right now.
Okay.
Right. So, Alpha, you can go ahead and roll perception. Gregor, you can do the same. Oryn and Lillith, everyone can roll for perception.
Okay. Yeah. What the hell? Oh, never mind.
Oof.
Okay, 15 for Oryn.
22 for me.
Very nice.
Algo. 18 for me.
Cool.
Excuse me.
That's for the horse.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If Alpha's tired, I feel like there should be a minus on his perception.
Yeah, so his perception would be, let's see, what is your perception at this stage? 5.
Yes.
I'm going to say -1, with your exhaustion being like 3 already. So
That's
-1 in
bad.
total, so D20 -1.
Alpha, I love your honesty. However, I do believe you just pulled a teacher. Didn't we have homework?
Yes, weren't we meant to have weren't we meant to have a test this morning?
Right.
Yeah. Why would you remind him that you you should get a minus to your roll?
So, Alpha and the horse, you guys see more people in Miyamoto robes walking around the streets as well. Okay? Gregor, you notice that the summon is coughing and she's walking quite slowly. So, her not being connected to Akari is taking the worst possible turn on her.
Okay.
Oryn and Lillith, right? You also see people walking around, but you see that every now and then it looks like an elf rushes past you towards the bathhouse, and then she rushes back towards where the slums and stuff are. So it looks like she's also looking for someone.
Yeah. Right. So maybe we should intercept this schnixy elf over there.
She's not being sneaky about it.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the elf that's sort of rushing hither and thither, find out what she's rushing around.
Yeah.
Can we sort of position ourselves that we can have a little powwow with her?
I'm sure you can. Do you want to intercept her the next time she comes past?
Alright, I think we should.
I'm happy with that.
Sorry, just getting a picture of the elf for you guys quickly.
Right. That's
To
fine.
be here somewhere.
Um,
My apologies, just finding a picture now.
okay.
I'm wondering if Oryn were to take her broom and fly over the city, right? Over the
Bad
roofs.
idea.
Maybe Akari would see her and fly in that direction. Or see her flying in that direction and then move to follow her.
Okay. That's an option.
Hmm.
That is what the elf looks like, and you did see her in the tavern as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She doesn't have her weapons and stuff. It's just the easiest picture I could find.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's close that.
So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
sorry.
you want to speak to the elf.
The
Yeah, I think next time she runs past, Oryn is just going to call out to her in Elven and just say, where are you going in such a rush?
She stops and then looks at you and then says, I saw you in the Rusty Dragon. I'm trying to help Amigo.
Okay. With
That's
what?
Akari's friend, hey,
Yes.
Yeah.
from the tavern. Oryn is going to say, yes, I saw you there as well. What is it that you're trying to help with? Perhaps we could be of assistance.
She stays quiet for a while and then she says, we're trying to find a mutual friend.
We're
Oh,
not
really?
looking.
Oryn is going to then again say to her, do you have any leads?
She thinks about answering again then, and then she says, only that she might not look like what she looked like before.
Hmm. Okay.
Oryn is then just going to nod her head and say, I see. I don't suppose you'd know then how to find her if she's not easily identifiable.
She narrows her eyes and then she says, I don't know if I can trust you. There's a lot of people looking for her, and friends can turn when money is involved.
Oryn is going to narrow her eyes as well and look at her and say, what's to say that you are not looking for the same goal that you're accusing me of or implying? If
She
we
tilts her
can't
head.
trust each other, we might not be able to achieve this mutual interest.
She tilts her head slightly and then says, you can speak to Amiko. She's at the bathhouse. If she trusts you, then I will.
Fine.
All right.
And on that,
Oh,
Our next
yeah.
adventure will continue at the bathhouse then.
Good.
We were
That
meant to.
is going to be the session.